Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the Melissa Banks Show. I'm Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again for this Cyrus Webb Presents presentation. Today, Master Event Planner, Entrepreneur, and Author Melissa Banks will be talking with us about something that a lot of us have gotten used to, I think, over the past 18 to 19 months, and that is the virtual event experience. Some of us, in some form or fashion, have now become the king, or in some cases, the queen of Zoom or some other streaming service. But did you know you can be able to use these when it comes to your business and special event? We're going to talk to Master Event Planner Melissa Banks about the benefits of a virtual event, what you need to know if you're planning one, for what occasion it might work for. And we're also going to let you guys know about something else that Melissa's been talking a lot about, especially this time of year, and that is her dream boxes. If you guys are not following Melissa, we'll let you guys know how to do that. There is Melissa going to go ahead and get her connected. And we welcome your questions and comments. We're going to walk you guys through. You guys can be a part of today's program as well, because we definitely want your feedback when it comes to this topic of the virtual event. Let's see if we can go ahead and bring Melissa in there. Hello, Diana. Good to see you this week. Appreciate you being with us. Let's see, Melissa. Looks like Melissa, let's see if we lost you there. Go ahead and try to send you another one, Melissa, see if it comes through. Yeah, good to see you, Diana. There she is. Hello, Melissa. How are you?
Hello, I'm great. How are you today?
I'm doing amazing. Excited about this week's episode of Melissa Banks Show. Last week, I want to catch people up if they missed last week. Last week, we talked about getting started when it comes to business, which was a really exciting show. We're going to link that up for you guys in the stories. ESP Presents, hello to you. Appreciate you being on with us. But this week is about the virtual event experience, Melissa. And you've become an OG now at this because you have been able to use it. Now you're getting ready to throw a big one yourself in January. So I want to talk about this, Melissa. Before the pandemic, was virtual event planning something that you thought you'd be adding to your arsenal as an event planner?
Well, first of all, good morning and thank you for having me, and I'm enjoying this platform. No, it never would have occurred to me. I was that person that wanted to touch and feel and interact with people face to face, and it just was not part of my wheelhouse. I never even thought about it, honestly. And then the pandemic hit, and that caused us in the industry and even personally to rethink how we thought of events.
Yeah. So, and I think that's the thing. So in this industry that I'm a part of, Melissa, I have done, Zoom and all of these other things. I've been doing that. I didn't know there was a name, to be quite honest with you. I'm just being real. I just know, hey, Cyrus, we need you to. I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, I can be a part of this from this. I didn't know it was a thing, but now, of course, everyone talks about, joining virtually, doing this virtually. I'm like, we've been doing that, in this industry, we've been doing it all the time. But I want to talk about for you, because you bring up a really interesting point. For those who are watching this, who may have been used to, I'm not a big party person and all of that stuff. But for those who are into that, right, and the big weddings and all of this stuff where people are coming from all over, talk to us what you've seen as the benefits, Melissa, of hosting a virtual event. I mean, two things come to my mind, but I'm curious, as for you as someone who's been doing this, what are some of the benefits you've seen of the virtual event planning coming into light?
Well, right off the bat, if something happens, in this environment we're living in right now, something could happen and change the guidelines and cause it not to be safe to do a face-to-face event. You can quickly pivot your event to a virtual event and not have to cancel it and still connect with your audience. That's number one, in my opinion. This other thing is you can reach so many more people virtually than you could have in the space, because in spaces you're limited to the number of people you can have, budget constraints, everything. But virtually, you can invite the world to your event and have people from all over the world in your event and still connect with them.
Yeah.
One of the big
and that's
keys,
what
go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, Melissa, that's the thing that excites me about this, makes me smile even bigger, because it's like, because there are some things I used to want to do some things I didn't really want to do because I used to think about I don't really want to travel to that, I would love to show my support, but I don't want to, have to go through all of that, you booking a flight and then getting a hotel and, all of that stuff, ground transportation. But a virtual event, you can literally attend from anywhere. Like you mentioned, as me, who I'm typically a person who's in the audience for a lot of these, I can be able just to pay my nominal fee. It's normally even cheaper than being in person, right? And then be able to still enjoy that experience with people because we're commenting and doing that kind of thing. So what has it been like for you to see people who want to have events, Melissa, take that as an opportunity or an alternative for them when they're thinking about planning an event?
Well, first of all, let's just face it, virtual events are not going anywhere. They're part of who we are now. I absolutely love them because it allows you to be so creative. And that's what you're hearing. People who attend virtual events, that you really put the host really put some planning into it, because I have to admit, you do have to do some different type of planning than you would in face-to-face, because you want your guests to be a part of it. But it's been such a blast. And that's what you're hearing from people who really attend virtual events that were well planned, that engaged the guests that was there. You're hearing really good things. And most people, even when they start thinking about their event, they're also thinking about a virtual component of that event, because it's part of our reality now. And it can be so much fun. I never knew how much fun a virtual event could be until we got engaged in it and started doing them and getting creative with how we bring our guests in. You even mentioned that guests can participate by simply commenting in the chat and you calling them out. People love to hear their names called out, right? So you call their names out and ask their question out loud. So there's so many different ways that you can engage your audience and get them excited about your virtual event.
I totally agree with that. Something comes to mind, and she didn't know I was going to bring this up, Melissa, but I would be remiss if I did not mention the Celebrate You organization. You know about it on social media. Hello to you, Brown Books. Good to see you. Today we're talking about virtual events, Brown Books, and the benefits of them and how you all can take advantage of them. But LaWanna Bradford and her team there with Celebrate You did an amazing Women of the Year event, and I was one of the judges on that. But I'm going to tell you, it was a production, Melissa. I mean, we had a run through. I mean, it was a production, but it was all virtually. We were all joining from different places. I was handing off things to people on screen. I mean, and they were taking it, there. It was, I was like, my goodness, this is crazy that you could do all of this virtually. That's the first time I've ever been a part of a green screen experience. I have a green screen, but I never had used it before that. So that was part, everyone had a matching background. I mean, it was crazy. So I want to talk about that for our audience out there who may be thinking, you know what, I want to have an anniversary party. I want to have a friendiversary party. We're hearing a lot about that now. I want to have something where I can be able to invite people from all over. How do they normally get started, Melissa? Like I said, they want you to help with this, because it does help to know someone who can do it. What is the process normally like to be able to get something like that started or even planned?
Okay, so first of all, hire an event planner when you get ready to put something like that together. Even if you just hire her for 1 hour consultation, because she can get you started and get you set up. Because the key and the reason that event that you attended with LaWanna and Celebrate You was so great for you is because it was well planned. It went from one phase to the next, and you want to do that even with your celebrations, right? So a great way to involve your guests, you're having a friendiversary event and you want friends from all over the world, your friend in Atlanta and Florida, to be a part of that event. You start leading up to the event. You send out some emails or you mail them something that they get, that they physically open up. And a great thing is you can even eat together in these events. We helped with an event recently that we had lunch delivered to the houses of each one of the attendees, and they all opened. We had lunch together virtually on the screen, mics on, just having a good time and talking. The key to a successful virtual event is it being well planned, but having fun, engaging your guests, getting them excited about the event. We had another event that we delivered the gifts to the homes. Everybody likes giving gifts. You don't have to give up on that part because it's a virtual event. We
Yeah.
had the gifts delivered with little tags on them saying not to open to a set date and time. And then they're
Right.
open at the event. It's about the excitement. It's about the experience and getting people excited, just as you would if you were meeting face to face somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Okay, ESP Presents is trying to gas me up. I see you, ESP Presents. You ain't gonna gas me up on here. He's telling me to go for it, Melissa. You already have a tree. But, you know, the ESP Presents don't start nothing now. You know, because Melissa and I be done playing something and expect you to be there. But I mean, but it is exciting though, Melissa. And I think too, you said something that's key, and that's why I'm so glad we're starting this show. It's hard to believe. I mean, we're just now technically, this is our second week of actual topics, our third week. This is why I'm so excited about this, because this is something I could not share with people, Melissa. I don't know this world. You know, like I mentioned, I've been brought in to do a judge or even to speak. I spoke at a group last month that was a virtual event. But as far as the planning and all, I don't know that world. So that's why we're so glad that you are using this platform, the Melissa Banks Show, to teach these things, because otherwise it's not going to go as well. It's someone who actually knows what they're doing. But you bring up something that's interesting, and it kind of ties into what ESP Presents is saying here about platforms. Because, okay, so, you know, we all know where our audience is. Is part of the planning, Melissa, kind of deciding where you want to host something like this online?
Oh, absolutely. Because you want this is why you need a professional to come and help you guide the way, unless you're an expert at that already. When I started planning virtual events, I wasn't an expert at that already. So I had to get the training. So, but the platform means everything, right? Because you want a platform that will allow you to bring guests in. You might want to have some polls during your event, because that's the way to engage your audience, is to have some polls, right? So you want to make sure the platform you choose will allow you to do that. I attended and was a part of an event recently that we brought in live performances, right? So you want a platform that you can cut to the live performance and have somebody performing vocally or DJ or whatever you're doing. You want to make sure your platform will allow you to do that. So that's part of the process. That's part of the beginning of the process. What platform will we be delivering our products? How will we communicate with our audience, getting them ready for it and the night of the event? And if it's like not a social event, but you're bringing in speakers, then you got to make sure that the platform you choose, because speakers live all over the world when you're having a virtual event, right? So you want to make sure the platform you're using will allow you to do that and be able to produce the type of event that you want.
I love that. For those who are just tuning in, you're watching the Melissa Banks Show. I'm here with Melissa Banks. Today we're discussing about a topic that all of us now have heard about in the past 18, 19 months, if we had not experienced it already, and that is the virtual event. We're talking to Melissa not only about how we can still be able to have those get together, have those parties, have those special events that are more cost effective, but allow really the big exciting thing for me, Melissa, here is that more people can participate. My mom is 74 years old. She has literally been outside of Mississippi 9 times in her life. 9 times. And so for people who are not used to traveling, you know, this is one of those things that is perfect for them. And I think that's the cool thing. I like this question. How did you prevent procrastination while planning to have guests? I think that's a cool thing. So let's talk about that a little bit, because the planning is a big part. If someone, let's just say, okay, let me throw it out here this way, Melissa. If someone was planning on having an event this month, right? How soon would they need to start planning for something that they want to have during December?
6 months ago. Okay, so this is really that really is a good question, and that's why when you get somebody professionally involved, when the idea is there, that helps you gauge your timeline. Of course, you want 3 to 6 months if it's a virtual event at minimum, right? But remember, if you're, say it's a product launch or you want some live performances, you have to make those arrangements with those vendors as far in advance as you can. And I tell you, if you can give yourself enough time where you can be creating the excitement of your event, then you're going to have more people looking forward to it. So one of the things that we do, Cyrus, is we create a timeline when we first get brought on board? How soon do we need to make the announcements? When do we need to let people know who our speakers are? When do we need to put out some teasers to let people know that it's coming? So all of that takes some time. The more time you give yourself, the better. We've planned events face-to-face and virtual, really, with 6 months notice, at 3 months notice, and actually with a 30-day notice. So you can do them in short term, but you got to have somebody on your team, because the team is important, who's creating the event, to help guide you so you're not out there all over the place trying to figure out what to do.
Yeah. And I want to talk about this because you're practicing what you're preaching, because you're getting ready to host your own virtual conference, Melissa, and you've been all over social media promoting it already. I've seen also the flyers for the speakers and everything. So talk to us about the virtual event that you have that's coming up for January.
Okay, one of the things that I'm so excited about this event is I wanted to put together an event to push women to move forward on their dreams. You know, so often women, we're just so hard on ourselves, and we look at our life and our journey and say, not me, I want to do this, but I can't do it. I've been thinking about it, but I can't do it. I look at somebody else, oh, I could never do that. I didn't come from the right background. What that event is going to do is going to bring some amazing speakers together, and they're going to share their struggles, their successes, and how they were able to keep going, just refuse to give up. And we're going to share that information. We also going to tell you how did they do it. We're going to bring some tips to you to give you some training and some resources on how did they do it. It's all in one place. That's so exciting to me. We have speakers from all over, not just locally in my zip code, because we don't have to, we're virtual, right? So we can have people from all over, and we have a day of events, but it's also going to be fun. It's not only just going to push you and inspire you, but when you leave this event, I want you to be changed. This is one of the dreams of mine. Not, you know, how many times have you gone to an event and you left fired up when you left the event? Well, the next day you didn't do nothing. It didn't push you to action. And that's what the key to this event is for us, to bring you the tools, the resources, the excitement, the inspiration, but then move you to action to creating your dream.
Yeah, what a great thing. So we're going to be letting them know how to get information about that. ESP Presents, this is a perfect opportunity for you, because, I mean, I think this will be a great thing for anyone out there, especially, as you mentioned, female entrepreneurs, to be able to be poured into, but also giving something that's active. Another thing you've been actually promoting that I've been excited about sharing when I've been on the road, Melissa, excited about doing it again this month. Now, can you believe it? Let us acknowledge this is December, Melissa.
Can you believe
We haven't even talked about that. This is December the 1st. How that happened, I don't know. But I said today when I was doing the news here in Mississippi for the radio station, 2022 is here. So you know it is basically here. But you've been doing something, and I'm excited about sharing it this month when I'm in Atlanta and Los Angeles this month, and that is your dream boxes. Talk to us about the dream boxes, the inspiration for them, and if you don't mind, show us what it looks like, Melissa, and what comes in it.
Okay, the idea behind the dream box, Cyrus, is to create an experience for the person who receives one. It's not just the gift. It's about the feeling, the inspiration that the boxes can give you. So everything in the boxes are designed with inspiring you and getting you focused on believing in yourself and pushing you to dream. So inside the boxes, of course, are our beautiful pink boxes. Nobody, I don't know if you guys can see it, but nobody can receive a pink box like this and not get excited about what's inside, right? So the experience begins right there. But when you open up the box, you have some beautiful items on the inside, not just beautiful, but also designed to inspire, encourage you. Inside the box, you have Dream by Design, the devotional. The devotional was designed to give you these little tidbits of inspiration that you can read without taking a lot of time, but just can get your mind back focused on what you can do. I mean, I simply opened it up and it turned to the page, believe in yourself, imagine the possibilities. Mm-hmm. That is so amazing to me. But you know, a good thing about this journal is it also gives you a place to write your thoughts down. Inside the box is included, it's a pen that you can write. What are you thinking at that moment? I have journals that I started 20 years ago. When I pick them up and read them and read my thoughts that I wrote down, it inspires me and pushes me. So inside the box also, who doesn't love to sit with a candle burning, a cup of coffee or tea, whatever your favorite, and drink it. And we have our own candles, the Sweet Dreams, beautiful candle that's also inside the box. And lastly, a bracelet, our inspiration bracelet. Our inspiration bracelet is for you. The wearer wears the words toward themselves, and it comes in the box with dream on it, right inside a beautiful pouch. This is all about the presentation, y'all. It's all about the experience. And of course, what would be a box without some chocolates inside? It's a whole experience when you receive one of these boxes.
Awesome. We're going to be letting them know how to do it. We have another question as a virtual event. This is another great one, Melissa, and I'm sure this is a question you probably get when you're talking to someone about an event, especially something where there are speakers. How do you shorten or cut off speakers when they go over their allotted time? I love that because we both know there are some long-winded folks out there, you know, and I think it brings up another point, Melissa, and you can talk about this more because again, this is your wheelhouse. I mean, even though it is virtual, we still want to be respectful of people's time, but also have some type of order as well. So is that something that is addressed when you're doing a consultation or planning as far as the house speakers will be kind of notified that, hey, you're going over, you need to wrap this up?
Okay, absolutely. See, that's part of your coaching process. Once you select your speakers, you give them their timelines, and then you coach them leading up to it about their presentation and how long that they have. A timeline is even more important in a virtual environment than the physical environment, right? So depending on your platform, because you're limited with time. Everything's about time. You don't want to waste people's time. We have a person on our team who is responsible for making sure they start warning the speaker, you have 5 minutes, you have 4 minutes, you have 3 minutes, so that they can count down. The key to getting them to do what you need them to do is coaching them along the way to let them know how important the timeline is. With our speakers for our coming up event, they already know their timelines. Their timelines was given to them when we invited them to be a part of the program. So now it's about making sure that they adhere to those and make sure you have someone assigned to watching the time. That's about building the right team, having the right team on board the day of your event.
Love that. Love that. Again, everyone, master event planner, entrepreneur, and author Melissa Banks, host of this program, The Melissa Banks Show, that Cyrus Webb presents, is helping to bring to you guys here online. Today, talking all about the virtual event experience, something that she knows about firsthand, something she's getting ready to throw herself in January as well. So, Melissa, let them know, how can they stay connected with you? How can they find out about the upcoming Imagine the Possibilities virtual event? And how can they get their dream box?
Okay, wonderful. Thank you all for joining us today. First of all, to get more information about Dream by Design, Imagine the Possibilities virtual conference, you simply go to themelissabanks.com. It's the first link there. You click that and it gives you all the information about the event. The event is actually January 29th. Early bird registration is open right now. You can find all that information right there at the link. Simply go to themelissabanks.com. Exactly. To get your dream box or to order dream boxes, and you can even order dream boxes and have them delivered straight to the person you want to receive them if you're not the person that you're purchasing them from. You can go to dreamdmd.com. That takes you straight to the website, and that you can order it right from there and put all your information in there. The easiest way to do any of this, Cyrus, is to go to themelissabanks.com, and you can have all the links. You can find out the information about the book. You can find information about the conference, Imagine the Possibilities conference, and you can get the link to take you right to the site to order the dream boxes. So the only site you really need to remember is themelissabanks.com.
Awesome. TheMelissaBanks.com. Another great episode, Melissa. Such great information. Really appreciate this. Again, that's why we have the pro here. Someone who actually knows what she's talking about, someone who's doing what she's talking about, and can also help you guys. As you heard her mention as well, is that you guys can sign up for a consultation with her as well, be able to book that time with her, to be able to walk through what your plans are so she can be able to help you. Melissa, glad to be able to have this episode with you and looking forward to next week.
This was amazing. Thank you so much for having me, and enjoy the rest of your day.
You as well. And we thank you all for tuning into this week's episode of The Melissa Banks Show. Until next week, you all make it a great one. We'll see you soon. You take care.